Hey guys, so today real quick I'm going to go over Be Brave, which is the first single that we self-released off of the album 7, just for you guys. So grab your guitars and we're going to start off at the beginning with the intro. Pretty simple. So we're starting here on the D chord on the 5th fret of the A string. That's a power chord if you know what that is. If you don't, that's 5 on the A string and 7 on the D string. Hit that twice. You move your index finger down 1 fret, but you leave your pinky where it is. So that's 4 and 7, right? So we have 5 on the A, 7 on the D, and that moves to 4 on the A and 7 on the D. Then I'm going to move the power chord down to the 2nd fret of the A string. So 2nd fret on the A string to 4th fret on the D string. Okay. Then we're going to go down to an A power chord. Okay. So that's open A string, 2nd fret on the D. If that makes sense. So we have, and then I hit 1 open E string. Okay, so that intro. Okay, what's tricky about that is it actually starts on the offbeat. Okay, so you can, when you're listening to it, you might think 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, but that's wrong. So it's actually and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, so when you come in, so that's the tricky part. I recommend strumming with an upstroke at first, right? Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And that'll put you in the right place. So the verse, I'm going to go over simple, and then a little less simple, and then the way that I play it. So if we start with power chords, we have a 2nd fret power chord, so that's the F sharp. So we have 2nd fret on the low E string, and we have 4th fret on the A string. So after we play that F sharp, for a whole measure, we're going to go down to E. So we have, okay, and the way that I'm doing that E is I'm just lifting my pinky up, and then I'm moving my index finger to the 2nd fret of the A string. Okay, that's the 5th string. So we have, and I'm palm muting that, which means I'm letting this part of my hand rest on the bridge, just on top of the string. Accenting the beat, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then I go to the B, which is on the 2nd fret of the A string. So 2nd fret on the A, 4th fret on the D, right? Okay, so same idea. The easiest way to think about that is you have your first finger on the 2nd fret here, and then your pinky. Move your index finger to the A string and lift up that pinky. And then bring that pinky in on top of that B note, right? So your pinky goes to the D string. So it's basically the same shape on these 2 chords. You're just moving it up a fret, and then you have the E in the middle, right? Okay, so that's the easy way of playing it. A little more complicated way is to play the full bar chords, or the full chords. So we would have an F sharp minor, which would be index finger barring across the 2nd fret, meaning playing every single string, and then your 3rd, which is your ring, and your pinky, 3rd and 4th fingers, playing the 4th fret on the A and the D string, respectively. Okay, so that would be that chord there. Then we go down to an E major chord, and then we have a B major chord. The B major chord, 2nd fret, 4th, 4th, 4th. Okay, you can bar with your index finger to catch this note up top. It sounds better if you do, but you don't need it. Okay, so that would be something like this. And that's also the verse, right? So we can play it in power chords. Or full chords. Okay. Now the way that I play it is a little more complicated because I have a little melody line in there. So I'm outlining the F sharp power chord, which is 2 on the E, 4 on the A, 4 on the D, and then my index finger is going to move up to 1 on the G. Okay? And I'm trying to let those all ring together as much as possible. Okay? So again, that's 2, 4, 4, 1, 4, 4. For the E chord, playing an open E, 2nd fret on the A string, 4th fret on the D string. Okay, and then I'm releasing that pinky to the 2nd fret of the D string. So the whole phrase. Okay, then we have our open A string to the 2nd fret of the A string. So that's kind of the pickup into that B. Okay, what I'm playing there is 2 on the A, 4 on the D, 4 on the G. Index finger goes to the 2nd fret on the G string, 4th fret of the D string. Index finger moves back to the 1st fret on the G, 4 on the D. So that whole section that's what that should sound like. And then I just go back to power chords. Same power chords I showed you before, except we go F sharp to A to E. Okay, so we have one new one. So I'm playing the 2nd fret, F sharp and C sharp, or 2 and 4 on the E and the A strings. Up to A, which is the 5th and 7th fret on the same set of strings. So what I'm doing there is I go down to E, which is open E and 2nd fret on the A string, back to F, F sharp I should say, and then I'm just lifting off my index finger to get that sound. Make sense? A little slower. And 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then I go back into that little melody there. The thing is, I'm playing an A, so it's slightly different chords. So what I'll play is I play that first melody just like in the intro. Then I go to an A sus2 chord. So that chord open position is open, 2, 2, open, open from the 5th string. So open A, 2nd fret on the D, 2nd fret on the G, open B, open E. Okay, and that's how I play that. 5, 5, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do the same thing with my E major chord. Okay, but I'm starting on the E. So that's 6, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that whole verse sounds like this. end I hit that open E because it transitions to a D sus2 chord. So that's the same as a D major chord, if you know your chords. That would be open D string or open 4 string, 2nd fret on the G, 3rd fret on the B string, but I'm leaving my high E string open. Hear how that E kind of transitions? So after the second time I go to that D, go to a B minor chord, but I arpeggiate the whole thing. So it's, so that would be 2, 4, 4, 3, and then I'll release that down to 2. So I'm barring this chord. If you're familiar with the B minor chord. Again, 2, 4, 4, 3, 2 is your B minor bar chord starting on the 5th string. 2, 4, 4, 3, 2, if that makes sense. And then I'm releasing that. And then you go to that F sharp melody, and then the E melody from the intro. And then back to the D. Now what's kind of special about the way that I play this D here in the pre-chorus is I'm actually hammering on from the D to the F sharp on the 4th fret of the D string. Okay, you don't have to do that. You just hold that D sus2 chord, or you can just strum it. But the way that I play it is I hammer that note on, so it sounds like this. It just has a better sound, I think. Okay, so again, that's hammering with your pinky, which is a lot of work. Open D to the 4th fret of the D string. Okay, so you have that. In the chorus. So the chorus simply is F sharp minor, the exact same chords we played in the intro, E, and then B major. Okay? Now the way that I play it, you can just strum those chords. The way that I play it is actually stretching down to get this, what's called a suspension. So that would be 4, 4, 1. It's a big stretch. So on the A string is 4, the D string is 4, the G string is 1. And then I'm bringing that G string up to 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then I go to a regular E chord. So I'm changing those same notes. I'm just playing a regular E major chord, which is open on the 6, 2, 2, 1, open, open. Okay? But I'm using my pinky to take that 1 on the G string and move it up to 2, just like I had in this first chord. Okay? So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? Now what I'm doing is I'm going to play my B major, but I'm actually going to suspend this chord. So what the first chord, what that looks like is 2 on the A, 4 on the D, 4 on the G, 5 on the B, and then I release that to 4 on the B. Okay, so we have. Transition. Now the transition here, it's not as hard as it sounds. It's 7, 7, 7 on the D, G, and B strings. Okay, so 7, 7, 7, moving to 7, 6, 5. Okay, so the 7, 7, 7, I'm playing all of my third finger, so that I can basically leave the 7, 6, 5 on the D, G, and B strings. Then I go 9, 9, 9, back to 7, 7, 7. And I'm going to slide that index finger up to 9, and then I'm going to play 11, 9, 10. And that gets a slide. Okay? So again, 7, 7, 7, 6, 5, 7, 6, 5, 9, 9, 7, 7, 9, 9, 11, 9, 10. All on the D, G, and B strings. If that makes sense. So that whole chorus. Verse. Start real soft and then build it in. And the chorus. So in that little section, I'm playing that transition to an E major chord. Transition again. Now the trick here, live, it's really hard to play that last chord, so I just skip that and go right back into the melody. This part fades out. Live, we'll play it 4 times, well, 3.5. Once we get to that 4th time, we hit the transition. And that's how to play Be Brave.